supposed to pick up your stuff months ago. I'm going to go ahead and put your stuff up for auction. I will send you a letter. Have a great day.
It was an experience I would never care to repeat in my lifetime. And I wouldn't want anybody else to deal with it. It was just horrendous. Essentially, we had to retain the movers quickly. We needed to find somebody who could do it within a narrow time frame. We ultimately found this company. The first issue came up when the driver was demanding that I pay cash and not post a money order, which I refused. They then took our goods. They claimed that they were being stored in a climate-controlled, secured warehouse, which later turned out not to be true. The trailer was just left in a dirt lot in Bayonne, New Jersey for 6 months, exposed to the elements and everything else. We ultimately had to go to federal court in order to get an injunction because they were threatening to sell my property because they were now demanding $15,000 and change to deliver. They claimed that the volume of what we had was 1,000 cubic feet more than it actually was. A 3,200 cubic foot trailer, not quite full, that they were claiming now had 4,200 cubic feet in it. And we ended up in court over it.
My son passed away a few years ago, and there was a lot of emotional stuff that was missing, like his piano and stuff like that. And I mean, big items. And so boxes of photos, things that, I mean, we're devastated by his death It was about 19,000, but it was supposed to be about 14,000. But, when they had your stuff on the truck, there's pretty much, you're kind of stuck. And again, they wouldn't unload anything until we paid them.
The federal judge was very realistic and disturbed by what was happening, because one of the pieces of evidence that I attached was a phone call from the moving company threatening Judge Spinner that they were going to auction off his property if he didn't pay them more money. It was basically extortion, and it was something I really, really despise. The federal judge agreed with me. I got that injunction right away. It was an emergency injunction, and it directed the moving company to disclose where Jeff's property was. I ultimately got a settlement from the broker and a default judgment against the moving carrier who ran off to California and is in hiding now. It seems to be a business model that these brokers and carriers are in bed together. The broker reels the people in with a website, and they advertise on different moving company websites that they will do your move for a certain price and you'll get such excellent service and be so satisfied. The DOT does not have anyone to follow through on these complaints, or really doesn't have anyone watching what's happening. They basically, let somebody file for a license as a broker or a mover, and all of a sudden with that license, these sham movers and brokers are putting up websites and reeling consumers in, for the big bait and switch. And the DOT just isn't watching.
When I called to pay for another 6 months of storage, because I'd prepaid for 6 months of long-term storage, nobody got back to me. Nobody returned my calls or my emails. And then, long story short, we found out my entire life, business, everything that filled an 18-wheeler truck was gone. I have nothing anymore except the 3 suitcases of clothes that I showed up here with in December of 2020. They've taken everything from me. So it's been a living nightmare. There's no other way to describe it. They've taken everything from me and they don't care, and there's been no justice. I just see the world differently now. Like, that there are people out here doing this to innocent people and getting away with it is wrong on every level.